Flesh resists intrusion. It remembers its first shape and recoils from what is forced upon it. Attempts at transplantation often fail, for the body reflects what it does not claim as its own, and yet there are whispers of flesh persuaded otherwise. Some artifices of binding suggest that tissue may be reshaped, imprinted, so that what was once alien becomes indistinguishable from the host. These works are rare, incomplete, but the theory endures. Flesh remembers, but memory can be overwritten. Of note are the accounts of craftsmen who etched details into grafts, scars, lines, even ridges of the fingertip. When the imprint is deep enough, the flesh takes the shape as its truth. Whether this holds against the scrutiny of time is less certain.
This came from the courier. Someone knew you were in my company, and I told him I'd get it to you. So here you go.
Oh, thank you. It's from back home. It's from my brother.
Oh, you've got a brother. Good news?
I have.
I hope.
Yeah. I left home in a hurry. He's happy I made it here. Yeah, I have.
Right, you haven't been in the city very long, have you? If I remember correctly.
No, I haven't. I thankfully made it I made it the day before the coronation, actually. Luckily enough, I left from wasn't really a post. I left from where I was just at the right time, I suppose.
Well, I'd say, I certainly owe a lot to your luck. So does Jim here. So yeah, I think we're gonna. You've got a lot of grateful people around here for your timing.
Timing, right? I suppose I was glad to be in the right place, right time.
Well, I'm glad it's good news from home. Are you gonna write him back immediately?
Yeah, probably pen something tonight. He's it's my twin brother, actually. This is probably the longest we've ever been apart.
Really? And where are you from? What province?
I'm from a little place. It's called Kassafe. Not a lot of activity there, although we are known as the birthplace of the corner store.
I see. I don't think I've heard of Kassafe. Say, do you think I think Zal's got a similar accent. I think he's from the Bounder as well.
Maybe
you guys,
so. I haven't had much occasion to speak with Zal thus far. If I'm honest, sir, it's been a little bit of a whirlwind since I met you in that alley yesterday.
Indeed it has. You've done well for yourself, though, Catherine. I'm impressed.
I'm honored. I'm honored that you have such a good impression of me. I have to say that of any Primus that I have tried to contract under, you are thus far the most honorable I have met.
I appreciate that. I know about my peers. It's a mixed bag, but that's how it goes. Everyone, that can be said about just about any group. So
sure.
So
in recognition of the mixed bag, if I may ask something that might border on impertinent.
Oh, I'm listening.
Back at the university, you offered to leave the room for Vince to do something. If I may ask, had you not left the room, what did you expect to see happen?
I mean, Catherine, I woke up in the basement of this establishment, having been thoroughly stabbed through. I know what Vince is. I know what this place is. I don't, what I would have seen if I hadn't left the room would be something very useful to me. My friend not being hurt anymore. And that really would just be it.
Okay. My liege, to you my steadfast devotion of body, will, and soul. Your word is law, your will a flame. Your command shall be my only course, your victory my goal. Should you demand my final breath, I'll face it calm and true. This I swear by sword and star, on blood and bone, in life and death, I'm bound to you.
I accept this oath. I see your devotion and accept it. Please rise, Catherine, blade of Artor, and know that your life as a blade hopeful is over. And the Catherine that joins me now here today is greater in all respects.
Thank you, Exalted Primus. I'll always remember this day, and as is within my power, I will do what I can that you and yours will come to no harm.
I believe you. I think that you by my side is going to be very fruitful. Watch over him for me, will you?
Traveler platters up!
Hey, here you go.
Thank you. What? Can I get another drink too? Some ale, please.
Yeah, what do you? Yeah, sure thing. Pour a perfect cup from a man over there, yeah. Hey, keep an eye out, Vince.
I'm paying attention.
Hey, did you hear Jim say something about the algae? We still have some, right?
We gave the entire sample to Uncle.
When Uncle tasted it, he said that it maybe awakens or rejuvenates. I'm not sure. And then apparently Jim was all amped up from it or something in the academy. I think he needs that for whatever's going on with him. Keep that in mind. Bring it up with Uncle.
I think we might have a very teeny sample. Catherine used her handkerchief to clean things.
Because he put it in his mouth. But maybe if we put her handkerchief in his mouth, it'll help?
I don't know what his method is, but if that's what it takes, then...
I don't know. He grabbed some of it. Uncle grabbed some of it and tasted it.
Well, when our visitor arrives, I might just go upstairs and gather that handkerchief.
Yeah, all right. Do fresh veggies coming out. Do. Hey.
Mind if I have a moment to speak with you, sir?
Good thing, Saul.
I think that it will be important tomorrow for you to have a discussion with Jim, not on what he did, but what he was talking about. Coming out of his toxicity, and the first thing he yells is cryptic discussions about an algae that puzzles a university botanist. It is evident that there are a number of things, pieces of knowledge that are very important to this investigation that other people aren't mentioning, that make it hard to eliminate suspects. And it gets hard when even people involved do have increasingly relevant knowledge, and it just so happens that this one was also tangentially connected to the extra disguises that were involved in this plot. But
I think I'm missing your point here is all. Like you can't eliminate Jim because of his mad lunatic speech about the algae?
I don't think it was lunacy. There's only so much one can pass off as moments of incompetence, and I've had my fill of those today. I don't think that this was ramblings of a madman. You trust him, and you know him better than me, but it's impossible to do a proper investigation when details that are relevant get hidden.
Yeah, I'll have a talk with Jim, but I don't think I blame him for talking about what was on his mind, as he was incapacitated by poison. Now, my ire is mostly going to be around his actions, because he should not have. Oh well, I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to ask him what happened.
That if you want to bring the conversation to that point, I am all for it. To me, that one feels less important to the investigation in information gathering, but perhaps better to know what we can expect going forward.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate your ideas here, Zal. I trust Jim with my life, really. So either way, he'll have ideas on what all that was about. And we won't have much to bring to Garrick. I hate this, Zal. We can't, like you say, eliminate any suspects. This chemist, we have no idea if the syndicate was actually going after them. I assume they were. The man has, I would say, obviously unsanctioned experiments going on in his class, but for all I know, he was perfectly authorized to be doing that. But I'm just saying, I'm sick and tired of not getting to a conclusion. I hope that this Garrick has an idea.
And I would bet that they likely have more connections with the university individual, which, you know, seems like Garrick might be one of those people that floats in between those two.
You just reminded me of something that has been on my mind recently about, you say rebels. The Sovereign has no open rebellion right now, but these syndicate men, a lot of them show signs of starvation similar to sieges I've seen. The men on the other side of a long siege. So I am interested to see what that's about, because why would there be a group of men starved like this in organized crime? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It definitely seems to match the idea of beggars are the disenfranchised, at the very least. They knew to cover escape routes as well, to cover their tracks or to prevent pursuit, which that indicates additional organization in guerrilla warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is also a conversation we can have with the group if you feel that they can hear all this, which I personally don't think this information would be detrimental regardless of their position.
Yeah, I trust them so far. I think that everyone in the company is at least interested in discovering who this syndicate is, if nothing else. It doesn't seem like our motives align all that much at this moment, but I think we're all heading to the same place, which has, benefits and drawbacks. So
they at least seem to be honest in their expression that the sabotage that they did at the university was not out of a rivalry or of a personal gain aspect in such a direct sense. Now, I don't think it was blind frustration, obviously, but it helps if they think that they were doing a good thing more so than they were trying to pass off selfish motivations as a good thing. And I do think that that was the case.
While we're on the topic of scrutinizing motivations, are you in this just to help people's all? Is that what your motivation is here?
The emaciated bodies in the street will tell you that there's always going to be a motivation for money, but I prefer to see people live. If I can make a living helping that happen, so be it.
Simple motivations, but I can appreciate it.
Man. Could you
Jim?
give me hi, Kat. Can you give me a piece of paper and a charcoal pencil?
I think you're goobers.
Yes. Can I also get you water or anything else? Are you okay?
Well, I feel like there's a empty hole in the center of my chest where normally some stuff is, and I'm going to see if I can fix that.
Okay. Do you want help, or do you want me to keep this door closed?
I'm gonna need help later. If you're good at math, you could maybe help me do some calculations. But this is
I wouldn't say that math is something that I'm very practiced in.
That's fine. Can you get if the tavern is closed? I'd love to get Vince's input on this. Did you guys get rid of that stuff?
Elle did. He broke
Okay.
the still.
Because I have some theories, and the only way I could have proved them is by being my own test subject. So,
Okay, Zal is in the next room.
Yeah, no, he can come in. We could once everyone's done, we can talk about it. I have some theories about what that chemist was doing, but I'll run it by everybody. Thanks for not letting me die, by the way. That was great. I really appreciate it.
Okay, when you talk about using yourself as a test subject, you're not going to almost die again, right? You're fine? You're going to be okay?
Physically, I'm fine. The part that requires
Doctor,
onion soup is no longer there. Like
I don't.
like at all.
You don't like onions anymore? I don't.
Like, do you remember what? I can't
know
make.
Jim.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
don't know if this is permanent. I'm going to try to fix it. I'm physically fine, but I'm not fine. So I'm going to try to fix that, and it's also why we need to talk about it. Because he was making a whole ass jar of that.
Okay. There's something that can take it away. Okay. For the moment. I think the bar is still open. Can we meet your physical needs? Can we just stay?
I'm going to be honest. I feel like I threw up a bunch, and other than that, I'm actually pretty fine. It looks like it's barely the same day.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Physically
it's
okay.
today. It was a few hours ago. Oh my God.
I'm physically okay. I'm going to try to do some calculations, see if I can figure out some way to,
Calculation.
I'm going to see if I can make something.
Should I just get Vince? I'm gonna have to go past Artur and Zal.
You can let him know. Yeah, let him know. I can talk about stuff with him until then, but this is dangerous because it leads to a lot of questions. A lot of questions, Catherine.
Okay. All right. Okay. It's fine.
I grab you by the forearm and I'm like, do you need a drink? I'm the one in the bed.
I'm gonna
take a deep breath. You're okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm so glad you're awake, Jim. Okay. I'm gonna go get Vince. Artur's gonna want to know that you're okay. The bar is still open. I'll see if they can step away, or I'll bring some food up if not. Okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
He's awake. Artur.
So, you want to come in here too? It's easier just to tell more people at a time.
Nope, that's fine. Yeah, if you have got something to talk about, glad you're awake.
Now, chemistry isn't my strong suit. However, I did notice that the creation of the potions that I consumed, sorry about that, I tend to test things on myself.
So that was on purpose.
That was
fucking idiot.
Here's the thing. If you would prefer not to have incriminating information that is unrelated to our current investigation, I will leave it vague. I can be more specific after if you would like. However, I have a very specific kind of constitution that I needed to test upon, because if you or Zal were to try what I did, there's a good likelihood that it probably wouldn't have done the same thing in the same manner. Not because...
A peanut allergy?
We'll call it a peanut allergy for now. I have a very unique constitution that makes this why I am deathly allergic to, quote-unquote, peanuts. You guys do not have a peanut allergy. The item that they created in that beaker definitely affects people who are allergic to peanuts. The reason why I am very nervous and would prefer that we do some more investigation on who is actually positing or encouraging that kind of research is because a very non-zero portion of our population is allergic to peanuts like I am, and I would prefer to know whether or not this was government sanctioned or if this was something he does because he doesn't like people who are allergic to peanuts. Also, the allergy seems to make people who are allergic to peanuts at varying degrees of efficacy feel better in a stamina-based way.
What makes you feel better in a stamina-based way?
The algae seems to give strength to non-mages.
And
now shit makes sense.
Yeah. So I have several ideas and theories about what's happening.
I see you're awake. I brought you some soup.
Yeah, there's a very large portion of my body that is empty in a way that cannot be filled with food. And
I'm sure we can find you a little girlfriend sometime. I hear Catherine might be a little interested.
First of all, no. Second of all, I would love it if you could run by some calculations that I'm doing. I'm trying to see if I can kickstart myself with a little bit of oomph.
Oh, yes, I'm all for the mathematics.
I have two prevailing theories so far. One of them is directly related to our actual investigation. The other one is semi-related. But both of them can be kind of boiled down into two different trains of thought. One is directly related to the specific, how should I say, antithetical sentiments towards a particular portion of our society, like Gary.
Who's Gary?
He was our government-sanctioned mage. Well, not my government-sanctioned mage. He was Artor's government-sanctioned mage before he went AWOL and was executed for abandoning the military.
Or abandoning military.
The military is willing to put up with some sanctioned magic users out of pure pragmatism.
Yeah, he was.
But Gary made it our problem. Like, he made it a problem, and he made it our problem. So that's...
He was our supply specialist. He was a master of making lots of ice.
Wait,
he also
was
had
a
a
supply
gambling problem.
specialist?
Yeah.
Like,
He
as
could-
in uniforms?
No, as in food.
Oh.
He
I think we had a rough connection to him and the uniforms before. He had the possibility of getting in, but somebody higher than him made that stuff go away.
So the point I was
He might have
trying to
ordered
make-
them, but yeah.
The point I was trying to make is I had a sneaking suspicion that the materials that were being crafted by that professor would only affect a certain subset of people, like Gary.
Traitor.
I am not sanctioned, but I also am not overtly presenting in my capabilities. We still are walking
And
around
it's
this,
gonna
so
stay
no one
that
can
way.
record it. Yeah. I do not present in a way that says that I have capabilities. I can then test on myself, and there's no presenting difference between me of today and me of a couple hours ago. I am just a soldier right now, but I almost died becoming just a soldier. So whatever was being created by that professor has a very serious and dangerous adverse effect to people like Gary. My question, what we need to figure out, in my opinion, is was this sanctioned by the sovereign or any of his direct attendants or subordinates? Or was he making these on the down low? Because that leads to two entirely different thought processes. The first one being, if it's been sanctioned by the sovereign, he's trying to buckle down on people like Gary in a way that has not been done before, and that is none of our business for this investigation. But if that professor is doing that on the down low, whatever secrets or experiments that he's been doing has been caught wind of by a different group of people. I am almost certain that the people who entered that academy were looking probably for something similar, or maybe we're looking for exactly that concoction we found in that lab. Now here's the question. Did they want it because they were going to destroy it, or were they going to use it? Now I'm putting on the crackpot hat, town crier, crazy person idea here. But do you know how some of our population reveres the sovereign as a greater than human object or deity?
It's frowned upon, but it happens.
It happens. I know he's the leader of our civilization, the person who guides our direction and how we're supposed to be doing things, yeah. But is there an additional reason why the family of the sovereign has always been the leaders? Can you guys put the numbers I'm putting down together? Because if that's true, we can never speak of that.
From what I recall reading various books over time, is the sovereign's family has maintained control for the last 2,500 years. And in the course of history, although their control is not spotless, it's always been positive in the eyes of the people, and everyone has always reaped the rewards of the choices and decisions they make. I can say that there has never been any recorded civil wars or uprisings.
And I would tend to agree with you. My point at all of saying this is people who target the sovereign often have either fanatical tendencies or are agents of the very few countries that are still stand within or regions that stand within the globe of influence that is under the Illyrian Empire that look at us with either fear or disdain. the Illyrian Empire is powerful. We also, just by virtue of being powerful, also have enemies. My fear is that they discovered some kind of secret, some kind of way of ending a royal family that has created a prosperous empire, and found the quickest way of stopping that leadership. And I feel as though being aware of this angle will help us with further investigations, because my initial thought of whether or not that concoction was sanctioned by the sovereign or not will probably answer itself by our further investigations. And it'll also probably tell us the motives of the people who went into the academy that day.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of your questions here are just raising more questions, which
Yeah, it sucks.
is good and bad. You know, that I feel like you're on the right track here.
All right, well, I'm gonna try to figure out how to fix myself. Anyone good at math? I'm trying to do that, work off biochemical energy.
Did you just confess in front of a bounty hunter?
Well, yeah, here's the thing. If we don't fix it, they could just call me crazy, because right now I can't.
But we also live in a world where I don't know if you saying, well, I can't anymore is going to keep them from not treating you like Gary.
Well, I can't anymore is I never could, and they're all just crazy.
It's fair. You are your own free will. Just know that the things that I have showed to you at the moment cannot be trusted to Zol.
That's up to you to share. I'm only ever going to share about myself.
I will say, while you were asleep, he did throw out accusations. Now, the accusations that he has thrown out, I'm fine with him believing because they are far wrong. He believes I'm some sort of chemist. If that's what he wants to think, probably better, but his suspicion on the brew in general is not very good. If it continues, I'm going to have to restrict more movement around here.
Okay, I understand.
Not saying that this is your fault. I'm just letting you know since you were crunked out from testing.
Yeah,
But
I did mean to apologize for that. As fellow studiers of things a lot less understood.
here's what I can say.
I've only really had to be able to test on myself, honestly.
Here's what I can say. I am not, unlike Saul, I am not mad at what you did because you just revealed a very critical thing in my field of expertise that had been left untouched. People like us would be in a huge world of danger. Thus being why when El had the opportunity, it was destroyed.
And I'm relieved to hear that, honestly.
However, the creator is still out there, and I'm under the impression that a small quantity, if for the reasons that they may want it, is not going to be enough, and to make larger quantities to have more effect on the world around them, you would need the creator. And I believe if we want to find these individuals, we probably need to find the chemists before this becomes some sort of mass production.
You're right.
I do not know how to get you your abilities back, but I will pass this information along and see what returns on if there is a way that we can help.
I actually do have some ideas right now. Both of them involve getting more of that algae.
I'm curious where the algae comes into play on all this,
So
because
it's actually
it
quite
seems to have appeared at the same time as this, and it seems that it is on opposite sides. And so I'm curious where the algae came from, and if it was a safety precaution of the chemist to have maybe the algae be a cure.
That's one of my hopes. When I inhaled the gases from the sample that we gave to Artur's friend, it not only revitalized me, but it gave me extra reserves of my magical essence.
This has the algae residue on it. Now, is it enough? I am unsure.
Feels as though in the center of my chest, there's a great waterfall. That's always how I've felt the spark. There's like a great waterfall that starts at my heart, and it pours out into every fiber of my being, and I can throw things into the water, and it disappears. Right now, feels as though starting at the apex of my heart, there's a bubble. All of that water that falls out of the waterfall is inside that bubble. All the rivers that go through my arms, my legs, my lower body, my chest, the algae seems to make the banks wider and the river deeper, but the bubble is still there.
Interesting. I'm sorry that you're experiencing this. I will reach out to my connections and figure out what we can do for you.
If you can find more of this
Because-
algae, I've got some things I want to test.
I will implore about that as well. I did have a vial that I gave to some friends of mine, but I don't know if it would be quite enough for you. But we'll see. In the meantime, feel free to rest or whatever. I can only imagine how you feel right now. This is my room. Feel free to make yourself at home. I'm going to sleep.
Sorry.
I'm going to sleep downstairs. I believe some of the rest are going to sleep up here with you.
I mean, I could just sleep out in the room outside.
No.
I have been sitting.
El is giving up his bed too.
Well, where am I?
okay.
Is this the brew?
Yes, this is the upstairs. This is where I live.
Oh,
You know that Maya Praetoria has the spark. What do you think you're gonna do about that?
I think that you and I are the only ones here that don't have it. And I was wondering why you would happen to meet somebody that happens to bring somebody to a secret portion of a secret place. So, first off, I would like to personally say that at least while I'm in here and currently vulnerable to any number of magical afflictions, that I harbor no ill will towards any mages. That makes a lot more sense than people happen to be able to cure any poison on hand just with impromptu alchemy. And I don't have any problem with people wanting to use their skills to help people.
Well, that's good. Just let me know if you plan if your mind changes on something like this before you do anything drastic. But I
feel
believe
like
you.
I feel like it betrays my stated virtue of brutal honesty to say that if I did decide to betray you, then I wouldn't tell you that. That being said, if I had plans to betray this, I probably also wouldn't have said that last sentence.
Yeah, well, either way, I believe you. That's fine. I just I don't like Jim and his big mouth sometimes.
With things that go into it or things that come out of it.
Guy puts so much on the line for this fucking idiot. Then fucking kills himself with poison.
says the man who was dying in the street. I could have left you there. Plan for tomorrow. You guys wanted to meet that contact from the professor, right?
Yeah, I want to see the giant. I think I assume he'll have some ideas, and he may know the chemist. He may know the chemist's plans, like if he's a known figure amongst the professors, such that Thule knows about him, the goody two-shoes Thule, he might know what the chemist has been up to. It might cost us a lot to get that info from him, but it might be worth it.
How much is your family worth?
Yeah, we'll have to see if he values the kinds of things my family has.
Hey guys, can you pour me a glass of vodka?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tough day. What can I get you guys to drink?
Vodka for the napkin, and then rum for me.
Yeah, I want more of that Firebrand rum, or whatever
Rums?
it's called.
Is all?
No.
No, thank you.
Water?
No, thank you.
Will you have nothing?
Catherine.
It might be too much to ask. Do you make a hot tea here? It's been a really long day. My throat's sore.
Vince, boil some water, please.
Thank you.
Catherine wants some tea.
Oh, okay. Give me a minute. I'll whip some tea up for her.
All right, thank you. Do you want any honey?
Whatever's-
Just however it's good. Sure.
Make it good.
Thank you.
It's looking delicious. If no one's gonna address the elephant in the room, I'll do it.
What's the milk?
Zal, why aren't you drinking? Relax, dude.
To be frank, since I've been asked on it, I make it a point to not eat or drink food prepared by people who I know have lied to my face. And since we are currently in a poisoning plot from two different angles, it seems like a bad time to double back on that idea.
Fair enough. That's great. I'm glad that someone in here will have my back if I got poisoned just now.
I do have
Remind him
my typical rule that when I bring people in or when I deal with people, I do not go in with the intent to kill. The last person who tried to slip something into my drink absolutely wishes that I did not have that scruple.
Interesting. Well, when you go to sleep tonight, feel free to check the sheets.
I do anyway because bed bugs are a real problem in this city.
So you guys have separate rooms. So you're business partners then?
He's more like a son.
So where did you guys meet? If he's not your actual son?
Well, I like to help, despite if others may think that I don't. And I'm always willing to take in travelers and whatnot, give them a place to stay. And, well, one terrible day, well, he walked through the door needing a place to stay, and he never left. Usually they leave after a couple nights.
Keep paying me. So, I'll stay as long as I keep getting money, I guess.
Yeah. And how long ago was this?
I think it's been about...
2.5 years, something like that. 3 years.
I was gonna say like
10?
5.
I don't. It feels like a short time.
Well, no.
But I mean,
No, if we say no, because
6 years.
She had just turned 20, so it'd be about 5, 6.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. All right, let's talk math.
Right, so essentially, I'm trying to make a magical formula that, when kickstarted by someone else's spark, will send essentially a needle through the bubble that's currently covering my waterfall, that is covering the waterfall, so that it will start pouring again.
Interesting. Now, I think we have to understand the differences of perception of how our abilities come about, because you express yours in the way of a waterfall being covered by a bubble, whereas to me it seems that one of the channels has been fractured. And so whereas you're crafting something to pop the bubble, in my essence, I would need to craft something to rebuild the channel, reform the connection. Now,
I see.
this, in theory, can be done with a similar device, because in the end, we're not completely sure how it all exists in the first place.
Yeah, does the bridge rebuild itself when it has the opportunity, or do we have to build the bridge? I see what you're saying.
Yes. So we really need to deep dive into where yours manifests from. With that knowledge, we would be able to then build that connection back, whether it is popping a bubble or if it's some sort of other method.
Gotcha. Well, time to buckle down.
Brands of obedience, once called living marks, were known not merely for their permanence, but for their hunger. They root into the flesh, feeding from marrow, humors, and breath. These sigils do not fade with the death of the bearer, for they are bound not to life, but to essence. Most brands were worn upon the skin, the brow, the chest, the arm, visible to all. Yet some records speak of brands pressed deeper, into bone or organ, etched along the hidden sinews. These remained unseen save to those who knew where to look. In such cases, the bearer walked unmarked in the eyes of others, yet still bore the tether. Whether these hidden brands served as silent initiations or conduits for control cannot be answered with certainty. The accounts are fragmented, often deliberately so. It is not the mark itself that compels, but the connection it opens. To what, or to whom, is seldom recorded in surviving texts.
I had some books brought here that I believe were relevant. I'm still diving through them. But the marks that we've been finding on individuals, I believe this book is closely related to it. It is mentioned in this book that these marks, they can be visible to outside perception, similar to what we've seen. However, these marks can go deeper.
You think we could fiddle with one of these marks and reconnect my pathways to the source of my spark?
It's possible. Very possible. There's also the theory of removing the mark.
What if there is a mark?
Oh shit! Sorry about your stealing. It feels like I'm relearning. I think that's like the best way I can describe what's happened so far.
Theory. What if it's not gone, but someone else has control of it?
Or it's just suppressed.
Hear me out. If we're thinking about people wanting to get this poison into the hands of mages, we're running with the concept that they are using it to potentially remove that, to rid mages. But what if these marks aren't breaking the bridge, but building a new one to someplace else that allows a new form of travel, one where you don't have a lot of control. Thus, the more people that consume that poison, the more access the place that all the paths lead to has, the more powerful that place becomes.
That's almost more terrifying.
Exactly.
Well,
In my
wouldn't the
case,
power needed for that to be, like, wouldn't there need to be great power to achieve that sort of thing?
you're right. But also, if we think about people that have been captured, they didn't ingest the poison like I
Yeah.
did.
They
It
were
was
they
marked
were marked.
upon them.
Yeah. I think the poison is used as in that
It's probably the conduit in which
as the brand.
creates.
To which the
Yeah.
yes, it's whereas a
the
farmer
ink in
would
a
take
tattoo.
an iron rod to brand a cow, or yes, an artist would take a needle to ink. That could be the method of branding.
So,
And
because I ingested it, would you
the
say?
mark is on the inside.
But I don't think it's going to the same place. My
If anything,
guess,
it would be going to the
Nowhere.
wild. Yeah.
it's going nowhere because
Just
I
an
feel
open
like
faucet.
if this text that you have is correct, the mark also serves as a sort of beacon and directive force. So if you were to just fully absorb it, it takes the spark, but does not give it to anyone else to control. I really do think if I put a master brand or whatever formula to use to control the spark is again, I could probably fully regain what I've learned, but I don't think we have to do that.
Yes.
I feel like with enough time, I probably could regain what I've lost. But if we need me in full shape quickly, we can try the brand.
It's the last line that keeps sticking with me. It is not the mark itself that compels, but the connection it opens. To what or to whom?
Exactly. My connection is open to nothing. It is just open and away from me because I don't have a fully designed brand. I just swallowed the poison that separates my spark from me.
Perhaps the concoction must be used in a ritual of some sort.
That's my guess.
Yes. I will say, while we're speaking of these books, I do have another book that describes what we're seeing with the identical fingerprints. It's called, in translation, The Binding of Flesh.
Okay.
It says, flesh resists intrusion. It remembers its first shape and recoils from what is forced upon it. Attempts at transplantation often fail, for the body rejects what it does not claim as its own, and yet there are whispers of flesh persuaded otherwise. Some artifices of binding suggest that tissue may be reshaped and printed, so that was once alien becomes indistinguishable from the host. These works are rare and complete, but the theory endures. Flesh remembers, but memory can be overwritten. Of note are the accounts of craftsmen who etched detail into graphs, scars, lines, even ridges of the fingertip. When the imprint is deep enough, the flesh takes the shape as its truth. Whether this holds against the scrutiny of time is less certain.
Interesting.
This, to me, suggests that, amongst other reading that was kind of a summary, that various bodily marks could be artificially replicated. Maybe we should... Hell, what did you get from the other text?
Forbidden. It's on animating life after death, saying that life and sinew, very dangerous. The consequences aren't worth the struggle, and the knowledge is not allowed.
The only inference I can get, guys, is more than likely, since the context around the papers are discussing the binding and remnants of the spirit after death, and the anchoring of anima to things that once that animal is attached to, is these sensors more than likely reference either in form or in theory the best way of binding spirit to flesh. How? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is some pretty heavy ink, but it's definitely
Well,
saying something
I
like
think
that.
what this is maybe pointing to is whatever it is we're dealing with might have something to do with this. And if
Here's
so, we are dealing with some dire consequences for those involved and perhaps ourselves.
I think we're gonna have to. This is pointing to some people who definitely should not be using their gifts like the way they are.
Yes.
what if, and you could have already established this connection, but I'm just kind of theorizing. What if these books, we can obviously tell they're related, but what if they're more closely related? What if they're steps? What if the binding of flesh is the first step? You are the body is hollowed out, overwritten with the new prints. You know, you're stripping away the identity. You're creating this hollow body, this container. Then you move on to the darkened body, in which we're talking about the fragmentation of a soul kind of being coaxed into the body, being brought in,
And then the sigil
You know,
to control it.
giving it the ability to control, and then you move on to the hidden marks to kind of seal the vessel.
Yeah, I'm following what you're putting down.
What if like the reason why that something as weird is happening with you is that you started at the last step.
I'm not dead. Yeah, there's that. I feel as though that's probably what we're dealing with. Those assassins probably weren't alive in the common contextual idea of what alive is.
What's another theory? As I'm more imploring, you did not consume that much. What if you consumed too little, and what was removed was your spark? But in reality, the more you consume, that's not all you lose. What if you don't have the mark yet? What if that's not on the inside? What if we are on the first step, which is hollowing out your body, but you did not consume enough, and so you lost your spark? But in reality, if you had consumed more, it would have killed you, and it would have removed your soul and created the vessel for the second and third step.
That's a good point. I feel as though that makes the solutions that doesn't change what my solutions are, though. I am getting inklings.
Socialize, spark.
Yeah. Oh, continue.
Oh, we must find somebody. Perhaps we can talk to people we know and figure out if we can find somebody that might be able to help you by using the spark.
Yeah. So my thought process follows that. I feel like that's a surefire way of doing it. I am very slowly. It's like my dagger's in the ceiling right now. If I raise my arm up, I can't reach it. But if I get this chair and I stand on it and I stand right on the tip of my toes, I can barely touch the handle. That's how I feel right now with my spark. And I stand back on the ground. I am here. If I try really hard, I'm on the chair.
And is that how it first came to you, through practice like that?
Yes. I'm entirely self-taught with math and formulae, extra books. Everything I've learned is not, I would say, conventional. Everything I've mastered, I've tested on myself.
Interesting. Vince, do you have maybe any recipes that might help in any form?
You would have to run through the scrolls, but I this is a first.
If it comes down to it, I'm willing to test the sigil. Like, we could tattoo that sigil on my chest, pour someone else's spark in there, see if it jumpstarts it.
We could use the algae ink.
Yeah, that's why I made some. Well, I'll keep trying to narrow and refine this pathway opener. I won't do it right away, and I'll definitely let you guys know when I feel like I'm confident enough to put this on my body, but I don't think there's much more we can do tonight.
Yes, there's not much more, except for me spending the next couple hours writing all this into my journal and theorizing.
There's one more thing.
Yeah?
What?
We need to relay all of this information to the group somehow. We need to talk about the real estate. We need to talk about the tie-ins with the spark. They need to know this stuff if we're going to be facing all of this.
Didn't you guys fight some people in a bookstore?
No, I think Zal was around there.
Zal went inside, not us.
He mentioned the bookstore. All right. You guys want to go to a bookstore tomorrow while they go talk to Artur's Professor Friend's contact?
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do some research and let them know tomorrow.
All right.
The anima departs swiftly at death, yet remnants linger. Shadow impressions bound in marrow, in the hollow of the skull, in the weight of the heart. These remnants can be stirred, coaxed, even shaped, though never wholly restored. The question lies not in whether flesh may rise, but in what rises without it. The most daring attempts speak of anchoring the anima beyond its natural span, binding it to substance or form not its own, yet such works are unstable, and the consequences most grievous.